morning, afternoon, evening, good day rather. And thank you so much for joining this webinar of ours. And Krishna and I today are here to share some of our experiences that we go through in our routine conversations with clients across industries when we are discussing what could be life beyond IT service management, HR service management, customer service management, and Gen AI, or I would rather say AI followed by Gen AI. Can we do some magic around it, etc.? And that's where our question to the clients is, are we ready to go Gen AI? And that is going to be the flow of today's session, where we'll be sharing our experience in terms of how do we go about planning, discussing, communicating, and executing on a step-by-step basis before we start configuring Gen AI features and functionalities. Outcomes are still a later on thing. With that, allow me to introduce myself. My name is Pranav. I represent Accion Labs. I am responsible for ServiceNow practice at Accion Labs. I'm an acquisition acquired company named Serviceberry Technologies, who holds an elite partnership level with ServiceNow globally. With this is going to be the agenda for our today's session. We'll be doing a quick introduction. This will be led by Krishna. Krishna will do his introduction, and then he'll walk us through Accion Labs, and followed by what is the kind of work, as I mentioned, we've been doing around ServiceNow per se, Gen AI, and a couple of use cases and question and answers. In between, we may have some polling questions that we would really request and appreciate your participation to help us give some insight about your thoughts, your ecosystems. With that, Kuldeep, if I may hand it over to you, please.
Thank you, Pranav. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone, depending on wherever you are. This is Krishna Singh. I'm the president for Accion Labs, EMEA. I'm based out of London. It's quite nice and sunny out here, as you can imagine. As I think, as Pranav already pointed, that we have sort of established good credentials in the cutting-edge technology, helping our customers differently. And the way I would say that we take pride that who we are, we are pretty much end-to-end digital solution and service provider for our clients all across the world. We are globally located from United States to Asia Pacific. And the way we are helping our customers is providing them end-to-end digital services through our proven methodologies with cutting-edge technology center of excellence. And that is actually helping our customers to respond to the changing needs in the current market, where the things are evolving so fast to their own end customers and the employees, in order to bring more efficiency, in order to bring more values, in order to stay ahead of the curve in their digital journey. So we are helping customers pretty much reimagining the way either they're on a journey or they want to embark on a journey, thus helping them to build a rock solid cutting edge products and platforms with our decade plus experience in product engineering, platform engineering, and platform automation, which is what the core focus is, one of our pillars that we are going to do. So having said that, when I say that we are global, we are pretty much headquartered in about 20 countries with about 5,000 employees and 170 plus active clients across the world. And interestingly, as you would see at the bottom, we are building our solution in collaboration with some of the great industry leaders, Amazon, Microsoft. We are gold partners, and Snowflake, Salesforce, ServiceNow we are talking about, where Pranav will provide deeper insight how we are leveraging this to the automation of multiple IT-related services and bringing efficiency in the operational side of the world. So Kuldeep, next. So that's just a small brief who we are and now what we do, as I said. So pretty much we work with our clients in different industries across the domain, helping them either build a new product or re-engineer and modernize their existing set of products. And in the journey of building these products and solutions and automation, of course, needless to say, we are using our own proven methodologies, our own frameworks, and all comprising all the cutting edge technologies that includes AI, ML, Gen AI, data strategy to implementation, cloud, and automation of operational and platform technologies such as ServiceNow that the focus is. So the core four pillars that you see out here on this screen in particular, we have built dedicated center of excellence to support each of these expertise that automatically helps customer bringing better value, a lot of reusable components, staying ahead of the journey by saving time, saving cost, because a lot of these expertise that we talk about here, and what we are going to talk today, you can see that this is not coming just merely from the slide text. It's actually coming from our 15 years experience in the industry, which cuts across globally from United States to European Union to United Kingdom, all the way to Asia Pacific. So we'll go more deeper into each of these, especially focusing on the automation side of the world today. And if you have any questions, queries, we'll be more than happy to answer that. The topic today that we talked about, we will delve more deeper into AI-driven IT transformation using ServiceNow, and I'll let Pranav talk about that. But before that, just a small view of what these technology center of excellences are all about. So when I talk about that, we provide end-to-end solution to our customers that includes right from the definition of your requirement and helping you build a great and cutting-edge architecture to implementation, and then all the way journey to deployment and sustenance. We take the pride of building end-to-end solution for the clients, and the top 10 technology levers that you see at the bottom are there to accelerate the journey, optimize the journey, and bring more values back to the customer, so that you as customer can benefit from all these experiences that we have, and stay ahead of your digital journey curve or your requirements, or help your customers better than they expect you to do. So having said that, I will let my friend Pranav focus more on our today's agenda, which is on the automation side, the fourth pillar, which is AI-driven IT transformation using ServiceNow. And Pranav, of course, brings tons and tons of years of experience. So you'll be enjoying some of the greater insight that he will bring through our established customer experiences across the globe that we talk about. So Pranav, over to you, and feel free to talk more about the automation, the ServiceNow journey, and some of the good examples. I know you have got a lot to go, so I'll not take too long for you.
Thanks, Krishna. Thank you so much. So once again, it's me, Pranav. As mentioned in my opening slide, ServiceBerry Technologies is an acquisition of Accion Labs. As ServiceBerry, we're known in the community of ServiceNow across the globe as an elite partner, as you can see the badges here, where we worked across multiple verticals, across geographies. And on the right-hand side, you can see some numbers that signify in terms of our capacity, our overall spread. In terms of 300 domain professionals, we've gone 220 plus project go lives. And what really brings across the differentiation is our 16 years of domain experience, where today clients may be using technologies across the data center and beyond data center in HR, in finance. And if there is a discussion around replacement, migration, consolidation, optimization of tools, consolidation of tools, we are looked upon by our clients, our trusted clients, and even our partners, including ServiceNow, the kind of value, therefore, that we can bring across to these kind of discussions. So that's about us in terms of our ServiceNow practice. But beyond that, who executes? What is the team behind this? So we have a center of excellence, as you can see on the left-hand side, that we've built over the years. It carries plethora of organized, structured knowledge that is accessible to our team. When I say team, the ServiceNow team and the domain specialist team could be business analysts, architect, tech lead, developers. This knowledge is more specific to APIs, integrations, reports and dashboards, those unique specific case studies around financial industry, around telecom, retail, that we would have executed and is today made accessible to most of our team members through our Center of Excellence. And yes, we also have our own instances running where, whatever demonstration, whatever use cases have to be presented, we have accessible and flexibility to do that. The square box, as you see in the center, is where we have our expertise. We do not call ourselves master of all. However, these are the modules where we definitely are very good at. The legacy goes such that we were born in the data center. We were around the CMDBs of the world. CIs is in our DNA. So when it comes to relationship mapping, when it comes to event management, when it comes to sanitization and optimization of multiple disparate records being consolidated into a single system of records, we carry that expertise. And that is why ITOM is where you see on the top leftmost corner of the square. And complementing ITOM is ITSM, software asset management, and hardware asset management. While EAM, which is Enterprise Asset Management, has been newly introduced in ServiceNow, goes back into the days where there were asset barcode applications that were integrated with the service management applications or these asset management applications to collect the records. So that's the kind of experience we carry in the EAM space. Customer service management and field service management go along very well. We've been doing field service management since the London version I think not even London, it was the Helsinki, when FSM did not even have a mobile application that could help you see the live Uberization or the live movement of field engineers or field staff who were accountable to address the cases raised by clients. Over the years, ServiceNow has evolved, so have we. A couple of case studies published on ServiceNow for a telecom industry that talks about our work around CSM and FSM. Strategic portfolio management is an enhanced version of ITBM, IT business management. Interestingly, even for our projects within Accion, we follow SPM as the module to keep a track of projects. And furthermore, interestingly, some of our project managers have got themselves certified and have now become business analysts, sharing their live experiences around the usage of SPM. SecOps and IRM, we are stepping into these domains. We're already there in SecOps, having done integrations with the SIEM, with vulnerability tools, vulnerability risk management as in, especially in the financial industry. App Engine and Automation Engine, as we all know, is a low-code development. And now with Now Assist, it's all the more picking up significance and liking by the clients. We really hold a strong foot in App Engine, having taking the pride of having gone live with more than 100 projects. And you can imagine across 100 projects, how many applications we would have configured on an average. Or I would rather say this way, as low as 5 applications to as high as 182 applications at a client site is what we have brought them on the App Engine module of ServiceNow. Lastly, the HRSD, which we all know is our contract and employee management lifecycle, which also includes integrations with third-party tools like Workspace and Oracle HCM, as well as I'm forgetting the SAP success factors. So this is where our expertise lies. And on the right-hand side, as you would have seen, the arrows facing the box, the square box, is where we have our services in terms of advisory, integration, managed services, application. Of course, we're always around to share our experience in terms of what services each of this comprises of. Integrations, very critical. It is really important that, and ServiceNow has proven themselves, where today any and every technology, any and every application, any and every monitoring tool is getting integrated or creating APIs to do a unidirectional or a bidirectional integration with ServiceNow. Now, what is important in this slide is there are a lot of use cases uh, basis on which integrations are performed. And that's when, when clients ask us questions that, if you've done an integration between Jira and ServiceNow, what are those use cases? Yes, we know what are those use cases. When you've done an integration between Azure Cloud or AWS Cloud and ServiceNow, what is that integration we have done using Terraform? So on and so forth. In case of SAP success factors, when there is an SAP mini ID created, how tasks are triggered in ServiceNow, assigning every department of an organization to ensure that the onboarding is smooth in terms of laptop readiness, desk, bouquet of flowers, cake, access to development center, etc. So that's the reason why we are flashing some of the integrations that we have done that we are familiar with, and many more too. Many more beyond this. All right. Now here comes the crux of our subject, GenAI evolution. With due respect to GenAI, it's becoming a fad. It's becoming a rock star. It's like, I want this. I really want this, which definitely is a genuine urge because the magic, the color, the vibrancy that today GenAI is bringing across in our daily lives is now beyond Alexa. It's beyond commanding Alexa. And therefore, with due respect again to the evolution of humankind, this was the best pictorial representation that we could think of, where we have a standard, professional, and pro plus. These are the levels of ServiceNow in terms of their modules that they offer. ITSM standard, CSM standard, ITOM standard, for example, and then ITSM Pro, CSM Pro, and Pro Plus. But what is really not working today still when we meet our clients, be it an enterprise or a conglomerate, are the integrations. It is becoming extremely complicated these days to renew and replace any tool. It's not easy. They've gone to they've become an integral part of our business. I mean, as simple as a Nagios XI, a monitoring tool, it really does wonder if configured very well in terms of its probes. And the client really wants to continue using it. But is it giving me the right kind of alerts? Is it giving is it doing the right kind of proactive or predictive monitoring? I don't know, is the question, is the response to our question. Disjoint technologies are still creating siloed people and process. Today, when we go to our clients and these the VPs and the senior VPs of data center or support in the infrastructure, for example, are still seeing a green color on their dashboard. And to their surprise, when they reach the office, there is a chaos, there is a fish market, which means the data presented on the dashboard is not exactly in sync with the reality, which means somewhere something in the CMDB ecosystem, some CI could not be mapped. Something got missed out. Was it the CI class? What was it, the discovery of any CI or an asset? Was it a change management that led to this? Therefore, every organization recognizes the need to transform. But despite of all the investments and promises and integrations and consolidations across the enterprise, they're still entangled, what we call it as a hornet's nest of complexity. Uh, what is the ultimate result? Extra manual work, slow growth. I'm not here to talk English and sell you, but the whole objective is today, if we want to go Gen AI, then there are certain investments that we have to make even at the license level, at the ServiceNow level, where we have to elevate ourselves from Pro to Pro Plus. And that's where the so-called Now Assist is what really brings value across in terms of various use cases that we would want to see. Some of us and some of you would have been already experiencing, for example, chat summarization, case summarization, where in case of a case summarization, an agent provides a summary of whatever queries, whatever concerns, the chat history, etc., the interaction with the agent, everything gets summarized, and the conversation is then converted into a case. Resolution node generation, we have Now Assistant, AI search, so on and so forth. These are the fundamentals. These are absolute. It all started with virtual agent. It all started with a knowledge repository being appearing as you would type the first few keywords of your query. But where are we going from here? Where do we want to go from here? And that's where, as we call it, as automated automated ticket resolution. We want predictive maintenance. We want demand forecasting, which is Gen AI in true sense. So when we want to achieve Gen AI, let's come back. Are we ready for it? Do we have a strategy in place? Most of the organizations, yes, we do have a strategy. Do we have the intent? Yes. Do we have the right set of ecosystem in sync with each other? An ecosystem comprises of people, tools, applications, and the underlying infrastructure. Are they all in sync? Data is oil. As our CRO says, data is oil. Now, oil can either slip or it can give you a lot of dollar. Now, out here for us to ensure that oil is giving us a lot of dollar, which means data, we really have to get into the details of data quality. There is so much of data today lying also within ServiceNow, where we are making every attempt to create dashboards, do some predictive analysis and intelligence. Nevertheless, this data is not just residing or confined to ServiceNow. This data is coming from Workday, from Azure, from AWS, from some FinOps tool, some manufacturing, some oil drilling specific application, etc., etc. The whole objective is we have to standardize a process. We have to standardize a process where all these integrations are seamless, and most importantly, metrics have been defined. I wouldn't even go to the ROI side of it at the moment, where metrics have been defined clearly. Now, what is also important is before we put our hands into the professional version of an ITSM or a CSM or an FSM, have we clearly defined the use cases? We are already using ITSM in the capacity of incident, problem, change, knowledge. We have integrated ITSM with our data center monitoring tools. We also have an ITOM doing discovery, event management, mapping. All good. But then have we defined the use cases of AI, not even Gen AI, AI, where today our own monitoring tools that are supporting and supplying information could be via Datadog, could be via a Big Fix, who are these tools. Uh, are is every information going in a structured manner? Do we know that we have categorized our critical applications and their respective underlying infrastructure, the less critical and the least critical? These are fundamentals I'm sure most of would have done and few of us would have not done. But what are we trying to achieve here is once we have the technical readiness in place, we are ready to go Gen AI. Now, when we have to go Gen AI, we define a roadmap. A roadmap, what we call it as a AI roadmap. Now, planning, data collection, implementation, optimization. We come across these words every day in cafeteria, at working station, workstations, in conversations. So what is HR doing to optimize the onboarding process? What is legal doing to ensure that all the invoices are consolidated, automated, integrated with the assets, the warehouse, etc. So, when we go and hear aspirations from our clients, these are very fundamental questions that we ask our clients in terms of what is your readiness on planning. Now, when we talk about planning is, again, I will confine myself to limited English sales language. Have you identified business goals? Have you assessed the technical readiness of your infrastructure as well as your team that supports all of this? Have you defined a detailed roadmap that today uh, you want to achieve in terms of its timelines, in terms of its milestones, deliverables? Data collection. Have you identified and collected, or are you doing that at the moment, collecting relevant data? Data is in plenty, in plethora, it's crazy. But then data that is relevant for your business, for your applications, for AI model training and validation. Do you have that data? Is it clean? Is there a pre-process defined, and with an objective to transform the data into quality and compatibility? What is also important is, are you conducting exploratory data analysis, as we call as EDA? And the whole objective is to gain insight, identify patterns, and understand the data characteristics. Have we defined and designed or somewhere developed on a whiteboard the AI models using selected techniques like machine learning, like deep learning, etc.? Then we get on to implementation. And when we get on to the implementation is where we start preparing the models for deployment with your infrastructure or the chosen AI platform. In this case, it's ServiceNow. And it can be any of the third-party AI platform or tools that is today available and integrating. For example, Copilot integration with ServiceNow. It's doing really wonderful. So far, it was limited to Teams, but we've seen with Copilot, again, the chat summarization, the analysis of a meeting, and then if an incident has to be created out of that meeting, is seamlessly done using ServiceNow and Copilot. Integrating the models with the target systems or applications, again, example like APIs and microservices. Lastly, conduct rigorous testing and validation to ensure that if the models work. So all that, and optimization, therefore, is the outcome of it. Finally, to summarize, throughout these phases of planning, data collection, and implementation, it is really crucial to maintain the collaboration across all the cross-functional teams, applications, underlying infrastructure, processes, to ensure that Gen AI implementation which is an iterative process, I would rather say, that emphasizes continual learning and improvement, is achieved, and there is an impact out of it. Uh, I don't know if at this juncture we are good to run a poll. Would really appreciate my team to do that while we take a small pause of 5 seconds or 10 seconds. We would really appreciate and request if we can get responses to this poll questions. We'll take another 10 seconds, and then we shall end the poll. Thank you all. Krishna, should we share the results of the poll, or should we do it for later?
I think we can. It'll be a good idea, but I was just thinking that, potentially it'll be good to have towards the end so that, we can take that up and answer some questions also, because
Sure.
Anita is posting some questions.
Sounds good. My bad. All
Let's
right.
just take into account some time check also.
Yeah, we have about 20 minutes more
Yep.
left. All right, let's move on. Planning. Now, when we talk about planning, what is really important is we identify the clear objectives. Objective is all about aligning IT with sales, with legal, with marketing, with service management operations, customer support operations. Number two is data quality and governance. We have to ensure that our data is accurate. And to give you a simple example, when we go to and discuss with our clients, they talk about, I have SolarWinds, I have Zabbix, I have Tivoli. Well, Tivoli does not exist anymore. I have Datadog, etc., as my monitoring tools, AppDynamics, New Relic. And each of these have their own consoles, and I'm really happy. But then the question is, how much of that data is accurate, in the sense, whatever those business critical applications today you have, are you getting a proactive alert? But let's take one step ahead. Is it also giving you some predictive analysis report to help you in capacity planning? We are approaching holiday season, and you are a travel company where you can expect a lot of load and footfall on your website, a lot of transactions. Is your data center ready for that? Do you have the infrastructure and the tools to monitor the infrastructure in place? Just a small example. Uh, Identify use cases is really important. These may include automating repetitive tasks. Today, when we sit with the C levels or the leaders within IT, and we go with the proposal that we would like to work along with you and do managed services, bring across the flavor of automation. And automation is such an abused word these days that it usually gets backfired. So how are you different from my incumbent, or how are you different from ABC partner? How can you help me reduce cost by 20%, by 30%? These days, we're talking of 45 and 50% even. More than happy. Rome was not built in a day, we all know. It takes time. And having said so, our questions go back with the client is, with due respect, if you can help us do a small assessment of your ecosystem, of your IT environment, all that we want to understand is, how have you configured a particular monitoring tool that is today responsible for ensuring that the probes within a network, within a virtual server, if you have an Azure and all, are in, as per the best practices. And again, best practices is the second abused word in this world. We call it good practices. How good is your practice, because you understand your business better than anybody else, that is today helping you in proper data governance to maintain integrity of your data? So we would like to understand those use cases, or allow us to do a small assessment. Then data preparation and feature engineering. Uh, Data preparation plays a crucial role in AI model development. It is really important to prepare and pre-process your data, ensuring that it is in the right format and properly labeled. When you talk about feature engineering, it involves identifying and selecting relevant data features that will contribute to better AI needs. Uh, Then we have model select and trainings. We have continuous monitoring improvements. We have collaboration and knowledge sharing. So net, when a client is using a standard version of a module or modules of ServiceNow and expresses the desire to go Gen AI, then the baby step towards this is we would like to understand all of these question marks that today you can see on the screen before we even jump on. And yes, there are quick wins. We do identify quick wins as simple as virtual agent, which is a chatbot on ServiceNow. It only gets intelligent by every conversation, which then becomes a knowledge repository for any and every user who comes up with a question with a relevant scenario. So that's one just example. Teams integration with ServiceNow is another example, uh, and so on and so forth. Onboarding. Now Assist is today coming in handy with a lot of such use cases where we can in fact go to the extent of doing demand forecasting. So let's say for a service-oriented business, Gen AI can actually analyze historical data to forecast future demand services for your services, helping you, your organization, allocate resources more effectively. But it wouldn't do it independently. It relies on the data, on the process, on the workflows. How accurately are we actually inserting the data or the requirements of our clients? Are we aware of their budgets? Are we aware of their decision cycles? Do we know what competition are we going to face before we start doing demand forecasting as the sales head of the organization? As simple as that. So all that data comes from third-party applications, which then helps ServiceNow to do a demand forecasting. So data collection is next. So I'm just going through the slides and not following the it's a script which I don't want to miss. So excuse me if I'm missing any slide. So we just spoke about data collection, where where it is also important to anonymize data, sensitive data, especially in UK, in Europe, where this is very critical. If your data includes any sensitivity, any personal identifiable information, as we call it as PII, uh, it's crucial to anonymize or pseudonymize. Yes, that's the word, heavy English. For it to comply with privacy regulations. So that's really important to maintain data integrity. Are you doing that? In fact, we have to keep that in mind because when we are integrating, let's say, for example, a Workday or a SAP Success Factors with ServiceNow, we are actually exchanging data between multiple sources. Are we ready? Does our line of business, if we are, let's say, if we are accountable to NHS or we're accountable to any government entity, does it allow me to do that? Is a question. So these are some of the fundamentals before we want to achieve our aspirations of Gen AI. That doesn't mean it stalls, but there are best practices to ensure that this sensitive information is securely processed and stored separately. Similarly is the case with, let's say, consider data augmentation. Now, to enhance the diversity and volume of your training data, let's say, for example, consider data augmentation techniques. This involves generating additional data samples by applying transformations such as perturbing the data, existing data, and then injecting noise or simulating variations. So these are some of the best practices that we apply when we are doing data collection. It reminds me of a use case where one of our client wanted for each of the users some personalized recommendations, which means leaving machine learning alignment. GenAI was expected to analyze the user behavior and preferences to provide personalized recommendations for services, products, and contents. It looks very nice on Amazon, but when it comes to data within the organization where we have a lot of sensitivity and adhering to the PII, it is really important that we take those into factor before we are configuring something called as personalized recommendations, as simple as. Lastly, it's the implementation. Now, when we talk about implementation, by now we are ready where we plan for adoption and change management, because the messaging has to be very clear within the community within the community of the organization, where the respective BUs who are expected to get affected, impacted, or benefited, that GenAI may require changes in existing process and workflows, where we will have to develop a comprehensive adoption and change management plan that includes training, communication, and support to ensure smooth integration and acceptance. Remember, we are dealing with human emotions. That's most important. And that is really critical. Number two, start with a pilot. Pick up a use case or use cases, or pick a department or couple of departments, maybe just two of them. Consider starting this pilot focused on specific use cases. This approach allows you to validate the effectiveness of GenAI in real world scenarios, confine it to limited users, take feedbacks, very important. No partner is a magician, abracadabra. No, we all are party to the success of every Gen AI. And to achieve that, it is really important that we take some of these steps, which includes assessing the adoption, starting a pilot, collaborating with stakeholders. Very important. It is not just the IT. IT is serving various departments. We have to take them into confidence. I may sound like a teacher or a principal out here. Sorry about that. But what is really important is we miss some of these fundamentals. So excuse me if I sound like a preacher, but it's really important that we establish performance benchmarks. We define the performance benchmarks and metrics to evaluate the effectiveness of Gen AI. Lastly, monitor and refine models and stay updated with Gen AI improvement. Be in touch, keep yourself updated, apprise. What is also important is not just the partner is expected to be certified or knowledgeable. As clients, with due respect, you are also equally expected to be knowledgeable, but with a notion in mind that if we have to achieve Gen AI, then we really have to have the fundamentals in place. That brings me to one of this case study. Do we have another poll that we would like to flash if we want to take a pause of another 30 seconds?
I would suggest let's continue, Pranav,
Let's
because
continue.
we
Yeah, we have
just have
another
another 10 minutes, 10 minutes
10
left, and
minutes.
5 minutes we have to give to audience also.
So this is one case study that I'll share, and we'll be more than happy to share across the slide deck if that's possible. I'll leave that decision to the team here within Accion. Now, this is one of our clients where we implemented ServiceNow's SPM, FSM, and CSM. What is important for you to note is we leverage the advanced natural language processing NLP techniques to implement task summarization, a perfect example of case management where field engineers were assigned tasks to be on the field when there was a case registered by a client that was then picked up by the team leader of that particular region. Let's say it's somewhere in central London. And then the team leader of that central London would identify an engineer based on his or her availability that is flashing because we have integrated Microsoft Outlook with ServiceNow. Also, the skill sets of the engineers allocated in and around that region would flash within ServiceNow to make sure that the right engineer is assigned the task. When the engineer reaches the site, he or she is expected to do an assessment. Now, it is not easy to type. So we've enabled voice-enabled dictation that is then converted into a summarization of this live situation that is being updated on the log analysis of ServiceNow that a client can or who has raised a case can see. So the system was employed with machine learning algorithms that were trained on a vast corpus of task descriptions, all right? Which means that whatever manual effort, whatever task that the engineer was performing was being flashed on a live basis to the client. Now, we're just not talking of FSM and CSM over here. We're also talking of SPM, where projects were were raised in terms of project IDs, because if that particular breakage required any kind of replacement, then that would involve external vendors involvement. So nevertheless, this is one such case study where we have actually streamlined our clients' end-to-end technology and maintenance and embarking their journey on digital transformation. Likewise, we have a couple of more case studies, again, around CSM. Okay, by the way, why it is just CSM, ITSM, FSM, App Engine, and ITOM? Because as of today, Now Assist is only confined to these modules. And for us to start reaping the benefits, we have to start planning how, if you are on standard, we take you to Pro and then to Pro Plus. And that's when you start reaping the benefits of the Now Assist features and functionalities. And Now Assist, of course, is 2 notches above the virtual agents that we have. With that, allow me stop my screen. And in the interest of time, if we could take some questions, please. Thank you. Really appreciate your patience.
I think, Pranav, I can see a couple of questions. There is one which I think you're well placed to answer is, how does ServiceNow plan to integrate AI capabilities into its existing product portfolio?
They've already done that. They've started with ITSM. In fact, I was in Knowledge event last week in Vegas, and I could see the response from the clients and the way Bill McDermott and CJ Desai presented on the dais, the futuristic representation of how GenAI would look beyond, as I mentioned, the regular versions of module. So yes, it has already been injected in some of the modules: ITSM, ITOM, App Engine, CSM, FSM.
Okay. Then
Is ServiceNow, if I could read out the next question.
Yeah, sure.
Is
By all means,
ServiceNow collaborating with external AI research organizations or partners on its AI initiatives? I mean, NVIDIA, we all know, they are the ones who, did a handshake with ServiceNow. It's all public, and they have further invested, and the whole objective is to give us that flavor of AI. Secondly is Microsoft. Microsoft has also shook hands. We can see a lot of integration work and amalgamation between Copilot and ServiceNow, and we'll be soon seeing across Azure in terms of its monitoring the landscape stationed on Azure. So, and of course, ServiceNow is 2 steps ahead of other competition. I'm not promoting here ServiceNow, but they are genuinely. So we will see more collaborations for sure.
Sounds good. Sounds good. I think there could be more questions, but I think in interest of time, it will be good to see the results of the poll that we put together there. So is it possible, Kuldeep, or someone just to show the results? Okay. So 38% talked about ServiceNow modules they're using ITSM, ITSM Pro, CSM,
Yeah.
CSM Pro. Okay.
Yeah. So these are the ones. So yeah, for us to start reaping the even discuss GenAI, which is Now Assist, we have to go Pro Plus. But even in the Pro versions, we have the virtual agents, we have the predictive intelligence that by far it shows you what AI can do for your day-to-day use cases. And then once you're ready with the underlying processes and the business rules and the workflows, we can definitely bring you on Pro Plus for GenAI features. But this is good information. Thanks.
Okay. So
what potential benefits does ServiceNow expect to achieve through AI investments? See, long-term benefits is automating, or rather automating tasks, of course, but making it more predictive. We're going through an evolution phase today, which is the GenAI evolution phase. And for us to create more opportunities for humans, we have to bring in a lot of prediction in our day-to-day business operations and activities. Uh, as I mentioned, a simple example could be demand generation for a salesperson, or knowledge accessible to anybody and everybody. So what benefits ServiceNow expects to achieve through AI is to uh, to give it a predictive to bring a predictive element in the use cases, number one. Number two is to seamlessly integrate the data that is being generated by multiple applications the way it is supposed to be, to therefore complement the prediction, the forecasting that we would like to achieve out of GenAI. We all are proactive, but it's becoming how prescriptive and how predictive we can become. So that's the whole objective to achieve over here.
perfect. I think that pretty much takes in care of all the questions, and some of them, of course, we will reach out to audience. I would like to thank everyone, those who came and participated. If there are any questions and queries, do write back to us. We'll be more than happy to answer that. And Pranav, any final thoughts from your side? Otherwise, we are happy to close the webinar.
Uh, No, thank you so much, Krishna. This is definitely an opportunity that we got to present ourselves, and we would like to have conversations with you separately with each of you. One thing is very important to know that GenAI definitely is achievable. That is the aspiration, that is the ask of the era. But then what is important is we have to take the right steps at every juncture to ensure that we are approaching towards our GenAI, which means there are quick wins, there are midterm goals, and long-term enduring journey that we have to achieve. Count on us. We'll be more than happy to connect with each one of you separately for that discussion.
Perfect. Sounds good. And do feel free to share your questions and queries offline also. We'll be happy to answer anything that you would like to know from us, or we can extend our help solving your queries. So with that, thanks a lot. Thanks for everyone. Thanks to the team